Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be going over some rulings for some cards coming out in Soul Fusion. Now, the reason why I did put October is that's the TCG set release date for the new set Soul Fusion. However, these rulings will apply to the cards previously. This is just more of an official rulings post, not necessarily an update. Now keep in mind these are official rulings, they're not really up for debate. This is going to be an objective video, because sometimes I hear people say, that's not how it works. No, these are the official rulings. They have all of the sources down below. I'll link my source down below, but I'm going to give you guys the too long, didn't want to read all of them. Like I said, this applies to the OCG now, and this is more so just like a ruling for the cards coming out in the TCG. So it's like new Yu-Gi-Oh rulings for newer cards coming out in October, if that makes any sense. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started, and I'm just going to be covering the ones that I feel like are a little bit more obscure, or things that like actually would cause perhaps people to be like, wait, that's interesting. Anyways, so this is Man Salesman. It's a new card, and it has the effect of once per turn, you can make both players reveal one card in their hand. Then, if they are the same card type, apply one of the following effects according to the card type. Monster, each player can spell summon the real card. Spell, each player draws 2 cards. Trap, each player sends 2 cards from their deck to the graveyard. So the question was, can I activate this card if players have less than 2 cards? As in, could I deck my opponent out with this card? The answer is yes. You can still activate it. It is an unknown card effect. So you can still activate it. However, if your opponent happens to need to draw 2 cards and they can't, they lose the duel. So there's the ruling with Man Salesman. You can't technically pull it off as a win condition, but it's a 1 out of 3 chance, so it's probably not going to be a card that people will be using anyways, but enough chance that you run into it. It's pretty interesting. Alright, the next one has to do with Mystical Space Typhoon and Crawler Paladin. So, you guys know what MST does, alright? I'm not going to go over it. But Crawler Paladin has the effect where you get to special summon it as an effect monster. It's Insect Earth level 2, stats don't really matter for it. Anyways, it's also still a trap, and it says, if this card is special summoned this way to a Zone A Link monster points to, you get to add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. The question is, if you activate MST and then chain the Crawler card in response to it, do you still get the search? And the answer is no, because it's still treated, I guess, as a trap card at that time. So therefore, if you happen to get MST'd, well, rip the search. The next one has to do with Royal Decree, or anything that would actually stop another card's effect. Specifically, things that would be face up on the field. This is Invincible Halo. It's a new card that says once per turn. It's a continuous trap card, by the way. That's important. But anyways, once per turn, you have to banish a Ritual Fusion, Secret Seed, Pendulum, or Link monster from your field. While this card is in the spell and trap zone, negate the effects of monsters of the same type as that banished monster this turn. So the question was, if I already activate this card's effect, and I declared Ritual Fusion, whatever the case may be, if someone was to activate Royal Decree or something that would technically stop face-up cards from being activated, what happens to Invincible Halo? Well, obviously it still stays on the field, unless of course it's destroyed. But if it's already resolved that part of the effect, you cannot stop it. However, if Royal Decree is on the field, and let's say they flip it face up, because you can still activate trap cards, it just negates all the trap card effects on the field. That would technically apply if it's already face up. But let's say they already got the effect, it resolved. Okay, that's the important part. Invincible Halo has resolved. It still applies the effect even if you were to use a card effect that would negate the effect because it has already resolved, if that makes any sense. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. Anyways, next one has to do with Avatar of Death. So, anyways, it says you can ritual summon this card with Rebirth, and if this card is ritual summon, you get to special summon another Neff monster from your deck. Also destroy this card during the end phase period. Okay, the rest of the effect doesn't really matter for this part of our ruling here. So, the effect is that you get to actually special summon another Neff monster and then also destroy this card during the end phase. The question was, if something was to negate me from special summoning the other monster, would I still destroy the card? And the answer is yes. So let's say, I guess, for example, just like a no special summon card is activated. You still destroy this card, you still do not special summon something. You do not need a special summon to actually destroy this card. That's how this card works. Anyways, the next one has to do with Rebirth of Death. So, this is the ritual card for the Neff archetype. And it says this card can be ritual summoned to use any Neff ritual monsters. It says you must also tribute monsters from your hand or field, or it says up, but it's or field, whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. Also, after that, if you tribute an avatar of Nef and or sacred blue phoenix of Nef for a ritual summon, you can also destroy one card of the field. The question was, if a monster has changed its name, can you still activate this card and count it as that specific said card? You could do it with like Phantom of Chaos. That was like the example that they actually pointed out, because this does change. Well, I guess we should go with Phantom of Chaos because this is more an obscure card. Like MST, most people know what that does. Phantom of Chaos has the effect where the opponent takes no battle damage from attacks involving this card, but once per turn you can target an effect monster or graveyard, you banish it, and if you do until the end phase, this card's name and original attack becomes that monster's name and original attack, and replace that effect with this that monster's original effects, and you must control this face-up card to activate and resolve this effect. So that does work with this, so it will count as a Nef monster. So that's kind of cool. And this also still applies to Sacred Blue Phoenix of Nef. So Sacred Blue Phoenix of Nef has the effect where you can ritual summon it, blah blah blah. But the important part of it is you can destroy any number of Nef cards from your hand and or face up on the field to destroy an equal number of monsters your opponent controls. That also still will apply to cards that did change the name to that. Now, the last card over here, guys, has to do with the Prank Kids. They're a new archetype. I don't know if this is going to be really that relevant, unless this archetype becomes really good. But anyways, Prank Kids ramp. So his effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion or link material for the fusion summon of a Prank Kids monster, you get to burn your opponent for 500 damage. Then you can special summon a Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position, except for Prank Kids ramp. You can only use this effect of Prank Kids ramp once per turn. So the ruling on this card is you must deal that 500 damage to your opponent, then you can special summon one. So if, let's say, 1D of Peace was activated or something was to negate that burn damage, okay? Now this can actually apply even if it was reversed with a card like Bad Reaction to Samochi. So any effect increasing your opponent's life points is change the same amount of points and damage to your opponent's life points. So if they were to like reverse burn it, okay, let's say for example you're playing like reverse burn, right? If that effect applied, unless you had like what is it, the oh yeah, just anything that would heal them. Let's say if they were to heal them, you must actually do that burn damage with this card's effect, if that makes any sense. So basically, if they were to make it so burn damage heals them, you still cannot apply the effect to special summon. It must do the burn damage from this specific card itself to get the effect. Otherwise, it counts it as something else. Again, if something was to say instead of burn damage, you would heal, okay, then you can't do it. Barrel behind the door. I don't know. I mean, anything. All right. Basically, it has to do the burn damage from itself. So, anyways, guys. Those are the new rulings for the cards coming out in Soul Fusion for the TCG in October, and I figured I'd just make this video to help you guys out, because some of these rulings, they can be quite complex, and I totally understand. But if you guys want the full read for everything, I'll leave it down below for my source in the description box. Again, these are not up for debate. These are the official rulings. They have all of the database that you guys can check that out. And if you guys didn't know, for Worlds, we always use OCG rulings anyways, but more likely, these will be the rulings for the TCG as well. Sometimes in very rare circumstances, there are differences, but for the most part, they're going to be the same. But anyways, guys, let me know if you were surprised by any of the rulings down below in the comment section below, and maybe perhaps why. But anyways, hopefully this helped some of you guys out with some of the new rulings, new cards coming out. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helped you out. If you did, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to always be updated on the latest Yu-Gi-Oh rules, because children's card games are indeed complex sometimes. But thanks for watching, guys, and I am signing out.